it's Jessica Anderson. I am back as the Chaos Coordinator, and I want to talk to you about how you can meal plan in the midst of these crazy times. I'm talking, we're in the middle of COVID-19 pandemic 2020, and it's been really interesting when it comes to grocery shopping and therefore what we're probably eating and will be eating for the next couple of months, right? And so I'm thinking about how so many people have said to me, Jessica, I just don't have time to meal plan, or I just need some time to kind of get situated, to get organized, right? And I agree with that. That's a legit thing that you need to do. It has taken me years to really pin down like groceries that I know my husband and I are going to eat and how much to buy. And of course with four kids that are growing and their appetites change on a day-to-day basis, their likes and their dislikes change on a day-to-day basis. Who else has kids that do that? It's really interesting, and it is a learning curve to learn to shop on a budget and a meal plan. And in the midst of these crazy times, we're having to run to the store as just as little as possible. At least that's what you should be doing. So for our family, thankfully I had like stocked up right before a lot of this began. And then when people were starting to kind of go out for groceries, or we started to hear, oh my gosh, the kids are going to get sent home from school, I was able to go and just pick up a few more things for our family. And I just went shopping for the first time during this on Saturday morning. It's Monday right now. I'm making this video. So what I was thinking about in the last couple weeks of our meal plan, it's changed. You guys, when you make a meal plan, you're making it usually on a week-to-week basis. Of course, there's great ways to make like a whole month, but you're still kind of looking at your week ahead and what you have on the schedule, what do you have planned, and you need to plan around those things. When are you going to have time to make the food that you have set for that day? And it takes a little bit of being intentional to have a successful meal plan, because when you do that and you take the time, then you're able to stay in your grocery budget. You're able to have a balanced diet for your family. You're able to try new things and also not waste food when you decide to go out to eat or whatnot. And you're just really adapting to those things. So tips for shopping and meal planning for those that are in the midst of that right now is kind of what I want to talk about. So I think I have 4 tips. We'll see. Sometimes my tips kind of like blend in together. This is a very common theme of my videos, but I think I have 4 tips, and I want to start by going over those. And the first one, it really shouldn't surprise you, but it's number 1, read, read, read. And what do I mean by that? Whether you are brand new to meal planning, meal prepping, budgeting, whatever it is that's attracted you to learn about meal planning, you're really experienced in it, now is the time to read, read, read. Gather ideas, soak in the knowledge, save things, use Pinterest, use the blogs that experts have written about different ways to, for example, make freezer meals, or stretch your budget with these meals, or how to shop at Aldi's and make all your meals from Aldi's, or how to shop, and make 10 meals from Costco. Soak in that knowledge, okay? you're going to be able to just grow so much personally when you take the time. And right now we have the time. So when I'm talking about those that say like they haven't had time to like kind of learn what is it going to take for my family to kind of like get on the same page as this, now is the time that you can spend kind of gathering the materials that you need and kind of practicing. It's going to look different now, your meal plan. If you are in quarantine or you have your kids home, your meal plan looks a lot different now. Mine does than it did a month ago because we're not running to karate, we're not running here. And we've had fun with it, but we're also keeping it simple. And so everyone is going to look really different when it comes to how their meal plan is looking. But right now, even I am just kind of experimenting with some different ways. Certainly experimenting with stretching food as far as I can. How many meals can I make with these chicken breasts type of mindset? Because right now food and being cautious and careful and intentional with the food that we're buying is really important. I don't want to run to the grocery store and risk that outing if I don't have to. I kind of want to go to the grocery store and like shop around and have fun, but I can't do that right now. And so, so some taglines or titles rather that you could search would be like how to stretch your food budget. How can you make meals with leftovers? How can I make freezer meals on the go? I don't know that now is the time to like plan this huge freezer meal workshop, just because you're having to go to the grocery store so little and having to get things to eat now. But certainly there are lots of different meals that you can make double of, and that would be really, really smart. If you're making a lasagna, you make two. If you're making up some crock pot dinners, you could make two. Put one of them in a bag and one you're having for dinner that night, right? But the third title that I have written down, this is a really important one, and it kind of goes into talking about my second tip, is read about shopping from your pantry. Okay, so if you're new and we're going into 2 meal planning and grocery shopping like right now, if you're kind of new, a big thing that you can do right now is shop from your pantry. When I say shop from your pantry, I also mean shop from your freezer, the bottom of your freezer, the back of your fridge. You're going to use the food that you have and look in there when you start to make your meal plan, okay? And I have some great articles that I can send you to that kind of walk you through a little bit more detailed of how to open up your pantry and get creative with what you see. You have 3 ingredients and you need 4. Well, now you only need to pick up that one thing and you're going to have a whole meal to make and add to your meal plan, whether it be this week or next week or the week after if you're buying those staple items, okay? So meal planning and grocery shopping, we want to, like I said, we want to be limiting our food visits. So you might extend your meal plan out. Now, I usually make a weekly meal plan, but right now I have meal ideas kind of lingering in my head for the next 3 to 4 weeks. Do I necessarily have all the ingredients to make that work? No, because I'm constantly kind of looking and seeing what we have and what I could maybe turn. Oh, we have this leftover. What can I turn this into? And that's going to scratch off a meal, or that's going to fill in a meal at a different area, right? But now is definitely the time to practice making different food plans and kind of like, who likes this? Who loves that? Who hates that dinner? What are you going to do for them when you make that dinner? If you stay consistent with that, it makes food planning a lot easier. And for years, I had to do that with my son who has food allergies. If we were having lasagna, I needed to make sure I made just plain noodles and had just plain sauce to give to him because I was intentional about it. It wasn't stressful. When I would forget, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is Dexter going to eat? And it would just create fluster and chaos in that moment. And so I'm really try to be really intentional. I have a couple kids. I'm kind of a strict, you're going to eat what I make type of mom. But if my child, I know genuinely does not like something like the whole meal, like one of my kids doesn't like sweet and sour chicken. That meal is so yummy. We all love it, except for he really doesn't like it. You know what? I know that he just really doesn't care for that. It seems kind of mean and pointless for me to like make him eat it. And so when I do plan for that, I plan for rice on the side of him and I'll make him some plain chicken. I don't make him a whole separate meal. I don't go above and beyond. He might grab a leftover from the fridge. Otherwise, he can make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? That's his choice. So the other thing is I'm going to go through my family's top 10 meals, okay? Our top 10 easy meals. And so when you're making your meal plan and your grocery list during this time, don't be afraid to stick with the classics. If you have some extra time or you're wanting to experiment with a new and fun recipe, just make sure that you have those kind of picked out. You have the ingredients, you have staples all on your shopping list, because there's so many things that you can make out of, 10 simple ingredients, right? Don't forget to plan in your leftovers. Don't forget to plan in your lunch and your breakfast and your lunch in your snacks, especially if you have children. Don't forget to plan in, the 1 or 2 snacks a day to help them. And it's going to make your life a whole lot easier, right? And I think, yes. Okay, so that brings me to tip number 3. Teach your kids. Now is the time to teach your kids about, or yourself. This could totally apply to you. I always use kids because that's just my whole world is children right now. But now is the time to be talking to ourselves and being very aware of food waste. I do not like to waste food. Why? Because I have a grocery budget and I don't want to see anything that I spend go to waste, okay? Leftovers, we don't eat leftovers in our house. We eat the leftovers. There's nothing wrong with them. They are food. We eat them, within a short period of time, so we don't have to worry about spoilage or anything like that. But now is definitely the time to teach your kids that you're eating what's on your plate, because we're not wasting because of COVID-19. I am not embarrassed to say that I'm totally have laid that out there and been like, you guys, we don't have the option. We don't throw away food because of the virus, and we don't know when grocery shopping is going to return back to normal. And so we need to eat what we have, and it's a privilege to have food, and it's a blessing to have food. And so, just be a little bit more strict with that, and the same goes for yourself. I've talked about this so many times, and me and my husband like, I don't really want to eat that, and it's such a mindset to, tell our kids that they need to eat something, but when we have to tell ourselves that we need to eat what we have that's going to go bad versus, eating something else or another option, it is hard, but it is really important right now that we are not wasting food, that we are using all the food that we have in the best possible way. So that means if you've made your meal plan, but you see, oh my gosh, this is going to spoil, you need to switch it and make something with it, because don't let it spoil. You're just going to throw it away. It was a waste of your money, and our money is very, very valuable and precious, especially during this time. All right. Number 4 thing that you can do right now is get those kids involved, okay? I hate a messy kitchen. I do not love to bake with my children. I'm admitting it openly. I do not love it. I don't. When they're like scooping the flour, And then they go and half of it goes out of the bowl, and I'm just like, like, why can't you just put it in the bowl? Or they go to turn it and half of it goes flying, and they're just like, you want this in there, mom? And they dump like way too much salt in there. Maybe these are just my children, but I do not love to have them in the kitchen. I have to have like mental preparation to do this. And so I think now is definitely the time to let a lot of that go. I have really enjoyed teaching my kids. We've made scrambled eggs together, grilled cheese they can now make on their own, macaroni and cheese. Um, I've kind of been teaching them how to use our um, toaster oven, like the Cuisinart toaster oven air fryer that we have, where they can heat up their leftovers, like leftover pizza or leftover chicken. It tastes better in there. So if I can kind of teach them how to navigate that, it just saves me a little bit of time. And so a little tip I have in that department is just stand back. I let the kids make a cake for dad on his birthday, and they kind of weren't in the mood to do it. I was like, well, we have to make dad his birthday cake. And I said, I really want you guys to work together and work on this as a team. So mom's just going to sit right here, and you guys are going to kind of figure out if you have questions. I will guide you, but mom's going to sit down because mom likes to control things. And if I'm standing up, I'm going to be more likely to be like, well, here, just let, and you just kind of get your hands in there. I wanted to just also work on my teamwork skills and be able to talk to them from afar, right? Also note, and I think this is really important. This is how I write notes, first of all. Not easy to follow, but when you're making your meal plan and you're getting the kids involved in that, when they're making their own food, rather, is where I wanted to point out. You're having them make the food. Start with things that taste good. Okay, I hear so many times, you get really excited. You think, well, yeah, we're going to grow a garden and they're going to grow and they're going to be more likely to eat it. But you need to really kind of at least with my kids, I need to kind of move slowly into that. Okay. Let's make cookies and brownies and cakes, and then let's make spaghetti and things they like, and then let's add vegetables to this chicken noodle bake, right? Because then they've made it and they're more likely to try it. But if we just start with something like, let's learn to make, I don't know, cauliflower rice. Make sure I just made that up right now. I don't know that most kids that are really truly picky are going to be like, I'm going to eat that just because I made it. At least mine won't. But before I let you go, I want to give you 10 really easy meals that you can be making during this time when we're at home and you're wanting to start meal planning, you're wanting to start thinking outside of the box. How can I plan meals for my family? And when I've seen on Facebook and Instagram that quote that's like, thinking about the things we don't want to rush back to when this is all over. And I think family meals are really important. Make sure you're carving out time to eat dinner together at least once or twice a week. Our best conversations happen at the dinner table. And so, bringing the kids into helping make dinner, that can become part of a tradition. It can help take workload off you and give the kids a responsibility that they can be proud of, to be helping and serving in the household. So today I have my top 10 family easy meals I know you can add to your meal plan right now. Number 1, baked spaghetti or baked ziti. So easy. You need noodles, ground hamburger or meatballs, and sauce and cheese, and you throw it all in a casserole dish and you bake that up in the oven. Well, you need to ground the hamburger, or you can just throw the meatballs in. Easy peasy. Done. Inexpensive and very filling. Number 2, shredded chicken or ground hamburger tacos. Shredded chicken, you just throw in the Instant Pot or throw in the crock pot. You can ground up the hamburger easily in the Instant Pot and keep it warm all day. And we always add some sort of a bean. Why? Because we're a family of 6 and we are stretching our dollar by adding beans. We don't need to make 4 pounds of hamburger. We can make 2 and do beans, and it's just as great of a mixture on a taco. The same with the chicken. I just throw in a can of black beans and it just stretches. Shredded taco chicken can be used on quesadillas. It can be used in soup. It can be used in burritos with rice and bowls and all different types of options. Number 3, sheet pan meals. If you don't know what a sheet pan meal is, check for an example. I'll link a blog that I really like to look at in the comments. But a sheet pan meal is basically usually for our family chicken breast, but cut up potatoes and a veggie, and you put that all on a sheet pan with some olive oil and some different seasonings. You can really get creative, and you cook that in the oven, and it's done, and it's all cooked together. It's so simple and so satisfying. Number 4, throw a pot roast or a beef roast into the crock pot with some carrots and potatoes and let that cook. Some salt and pepper. That is just so simple and so delicious. Number 5, soups. Chicken soups, I put specifically. Why? Because chicken soups can be turned into rice chicken soup, noodle chicken soup, dumpling chicken soup, Mexican chicken soup. It can be a thick, creamy soup, or it can be a clear soup. And you serve that with some bread and some salad. Done. Number 6, barbecue sandwiches. In our house, that's what we call sloppy joes, but sloppy joes are easy. They are satisfying. Who doesn't like a good sloppy joe? There are so many different recipes. I'll share our family favorite with you guys. Number 7, cheese quesadillas. Cheese quesadillas / really, you can make a grilled cheese if you didn't have quesadillas. I feel like it's the same thing, though I wouldn't necessarily dip a grilled cheese into sour cream like I will a quesadilla, but I guess you could, right? Cheese quesadillas, you can load up with veggies. If you have some extra beans, you can throw those on there. You can dip them in salsa and sour cream. You can pretty much add anything to a quesadilla. It's usually just cheese or chicken in our house and veggies. Number 8, homemade pizza. Homemade pizza is really quite easy to make, friends, okay? And so, you can have fun with that during quarantine, especially make your own little mini pizzas, get some pineapple, use up the ham that's left over in the fridge to make a Hawaiian type pizza. Pepperonis last forever in the refrigerator, so you always just have some of those on hand for snacking and for when you're making little pizzas. Onions, whatever, okay? Number 9, I wrote breakfast for dinner. You guys can have breakfast for dinner, okay? You can make pancakes and bacon, or you can make French toast and bacon, or you can make an egg bake, or egg burritos, or fried eggs with some potatoes and onion. There are so many options. And number 10 is the last thing is grilling your meat. So if you have some decent weather and you can get outside and grill your meat, we tend to if I think of it, I'll throw it in a bag, marinate the meat. I like to use Italian dressing for something really simple. I will take a baked brown potato, cut it up into wedges, toss it with olive oil and seasoning, and I will bake those. And I just pull out a bag of frozen vegetables and serve that up. Those are our family's top 10 easy meals. You could make a whole month's worth of variety of just from those 10 out of meals or more. So lots of different options for you. You guys, I am just really, really thinking about how to make the best out of all of this. And so I'm soaking in that knowledge. I'm getting the kids involved. I am trying not to waste food. And I am really just trying to get a great meal planning method and just wrap my head around what I want for our family when it comes to meal planning and meal budgeting and spending that time together. So I hope that you are hanging in there. And if I can help in any way, if you have any ideas you want to share with me, you think something's really helping your family, I would really actually love to hear about that. So that's all I got for you today. I talked a long time. You guys have a great day. Bye.